Geekazoid.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Geekazoid. My name is Captain Fizman, and I am the captain of today's show. I'm not driving this solo. I am joined by the lovely and always punctual Tay. How you doing?
Hello, Fizman. How are we?
I'm good, thank you. It feels weird not having Jaden here. Like, it feels like this is what happens when you let the kids take control of the
We're
show.
unattended.
Yes, which means we can talk
Viewers
about
beware.
But yeah.
Wait, hold on a second.
We
What do
spoke
you
too
mean?
soon.
Look,
Nothing,
I couldn't let you
Jaden.
guys all have the fun. Look, I am on holidays at the moment, and I thought I'd just chime in and check in with you guys. There's a time zone difference. It's actually 6 o'clock here. I'm just up at Port Douglas at the moment. So yeah, I've got a couple of I guess an hour to spend and chat with you guys. But yeah, I'm ready to geek out. I've actually been MIA a little bit in terms of the news and what's going on at the moment, but I'm excited to see what you guys are bringing to the show.
Well,
Yeah,
you're
we
in
have
the
a
right
little-
place. We are here to fill you in all the new goss.
Yes, we're
Beautiful.
not just
I'll be right back though. Okay, I'll be right back.
Okie dokie.
but we're not just by ourselves. We have our lovely viewers. So hey Tal, lovely
Hello,
to have you
Tal.
here.
Welcome back.
Feels like we just saw you.
Mm.
Not just Tal, we also have Abdullah and
Abdullah.
Terry right here. Hopefully I don't block him. So
Don't block Terry
like I did
again.
to YouTube. I'm very sorry, but because you're on Twitch, then it's okay. You don't have the bots coming to the comments. But yeah, how's your week been, Tay?
Oh, it's been pretty good. It's been a little bit busy, but we're pretty good. I'm excited for the weekend. I'm still 50-50 on whether I'm going out. I've got a little like festival thing going on Saturday, but I still don't know if I'm up for it. So we'll see what happens. But what about you,
can
Jaden?
do?
What have you been doing on your vacation?
Yeah.
Trying to chill and relax. We had some credit that we needed to use, and we thought we better take advantage of it now because it's going to get busy in December, and who knows what's going to happen next year as well. So Tash and I are away in Port Douglas, and we've got a great couple of days full of activities ahead of us. So yeah, it's going to be great.
Awesome.
Yeah, I heard that you've got a festival happening.
Yes. I'm still not sure if I'm going to go. We'll see what happens.
Right.
You know
I
what
don't-
you
I can't
can
party.
do if you don't want to go to the festival? You can watch the Santa Claus or Santa Claus.
I can. That is
Disney
definitely
Plus.
an option. Oh, what have we got here? Tal says, this is for Tay. I finally watched The Ring last week and it was very good. I'll probably get spooked out. You are a braver person than I, Tal. I still have not done it. I still have that confession that I have not watched it when I said I was going to. I will. Maybe this week. Maybe this is the week. Maybe I'll do it instead of going to the festival. I'll sit at home and I'll watch The Ring finally.
Yes. And then
Fizz.
I have
Fizz, I saw that
basically-
you're going to be going down to Melbourne. Is it for the Oz Comic Con Christmas?
Yes,
thing?
I will
Is that
be
right?
down in Melbourne for Christmas Comic Con.
Yay.
Some
Right.
very exciting content planned for that. We have probably the biggest panel I've been on. About like 11 of the Beating Geek cast will be on one panel.
As in from your season or from
My
the other
season.
season?
My
Oh, that's
season.
exciting.
I think it would be very chaos if I had like from the other seasons.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so what is that? All the Melbourne people?
It's all the
And-
Melbourne people, some of the Sydney people, and Mike from Brisbane.
Wow.
Wow.
What a
Everyone's
lineup.
coming
That's
together.
exciting.
Yeah.
Tay, I was going to say, Tay, you're going to Melbourne, but you're actually from Melbourne, so that would make sense.
I am.
Right? Are you actually
it's
going
still
to
like
the
an
event?
hour away, so yes, I will be going. I most likely
We
will
were
go both
discussing
days.
cosplay ideas for Tay.
We were.
Right.
We were. Fizz gave me an excellent idea, and to go as Cindy Lou Who.
Ah, that's
I
great.
was
Yeah,
like,
from the Grinch.
I might do that. I was like, it might take me a few hours to do the hairstyle, but I'll give it a practice go this week, and I'll see what happens.
100%.
Oh, that'd be exciting. You would actually make it great. What was her name again? Was it
Cindy
Susie
Lou.
Who? Oh, Cindy Lou Who.
Yeah.
That's it. I got it.
Yeah, from the
no, that's
Grinch.
great. Yeah, nah. I remember watching. Well, I remember the Grinch coming out, and I rewatched it last year for last Christmas. But yeah, Jim Carrey's
Classic.
a madman. He's great. Yeah.
So funny.
Good.
It's one of those ones I'll always watch.
Yeah.
Like I won't get sick of it.
Nah, it's awesome.
Always good. Well, shall we get into the show?
We shall.
Do it, Fizz.
Okay,
Do it.
so first up, we are taking on. There isn't a discussion topic. This is all trending topics, which is Jaden's favorite segment. So let us begin. Okay, so this is how you know this is very much of a Tay and Fizz show because a lot of these topics are very much centered around our interests. Jaden, we didn't know you were going to be here. So
We didn't know you were going to turn up.
I didn't either, so that's why I'm like, yeah, I'll just jump on it. I was like, oh, a time difference. Yeah, let's go. So yeah, let's go.
Okay.
I can see the line up on the side here. So bring it on.
First up, it is Percy Jackson casting. So Tay, do you want to take it away?
Yes. Okay. So for those who have tuned in some of our previous episodes, you would know that Fizz and I are very excited for the Percy Jackson series coming out on Disney Plus. And we have just had a cast announcement that Lin-Manuel Miranda will be joining the cast as Hermes, who is the messenger god, who is a little bit reluctant to help them. Of course, I am so excited. For those who I'm sure everyone should know, but for those who don't know, Lin-Manuel Miranda is an excellent, just an all-rounder, really. A singer, he's an actor, composer, everything. He does it all. You'd know him from Hamilton, which is a personal favorite of mine. I'm not biased at all with having the last name Hamilton. And my grandfather's actual name is Alexander Hamilton. So really, really close to this one. Encanto,
really?
he wrote all the songs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, your grandfather's name is Alexander Hamilton?
it is. Yes.
No.
Alexander runs in our family. The name
Wow.
Alexander Hamilton. So like a
Fizz
lot
man,
of my
it's not
relatives have the middle name.
Alexander Hamilton,
I'm
right?
aware it's not
Okay.
The actual
Hamilton.
one. He is my grandfather. I'm actually related to Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah. Actually,
That's how it works.
Taylor's grandfather can rap and spit rhymes as well, and he's not going to give away a shot. So yeah.
Mhm. No, best friends with Hercules Mulligan. And also Tick Tick Boom as well. Any other theatre aficionados out
Yes.
here? So just right. I wonder if like we will get something like a singing little bit in the series. I don't think they would do that, but we can always hope. I think it would be cool to add a little musical number.
for Lin-Manuel Miranda to be a neglectful father because we all know how the Greek gods are to their children in the Percy Jackson series.
Absolutely.
So, and it's funny, I actually sent you a TikTok. It's like, now we understand why Luke really hates his father, and hence Lin-Manuel Miranda.
It's too good. Too good.
Yeah, too good. But yes, Jaden, do you have any thoughts?
I mean, when I saw this cast, I know that Lin is, got a great relationship with Disney. I know he's working on The Little Mermaid. He's trying to work on some original songs for that. I don't know if he'll have some sort of musical aspect to the show. I mean, he's been in has he just been in acting roles? I know that he's on a show. It's like a sci-fi show at the moment. I was going to say Mary Poppins 2, but obviously that's a musical movie as well.
He played.
He's in some sort
Amy's
of like
brother in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes, he did.
But there's also some.
Yeah. That's
I
actually a
can't remember
tricky
what it is.
one.
I feel like it's an Amazon Prime or HBO Max show where he just plays like he's just an actor and he doesn't rap or anything like that. But I had the privilege of meeting him when I was in New York for the In the Heights trailer release, and he seems like a really, really cool guy. Yeah, so awesome. The casting, the lineup for this Percy Jackson show is looking intense. But does this mean he's like a main character, or is he just like a featured sort of like star character? Like, is this Hermes character in it throughout the whole thing, or will he make an appearance or two?
He does have a presence, but I wouldn't say he's like a prominent character. Like a lot of a lot of the issues with not the issues, but like a lot of the plot points in The Lightning Thief have to do with Hermes. So yeah.
Yeah, they could go either way. They could put, because it's Lynn, they may put him in more. They may build a little bit more of a story with Hermes being around. But yeah, with what we've previously seen, it's not for very long, but like it's a nice chunk. So I'm hoping it won't just be a small cameo.
So I was just looking at Lin-Manuel's IMDb. He was in Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker as a soldier, uncredited.
Yes,
he was also in One Day at a Time.
He's done that a few times. He's done a few uncredited roles, like little cameos in the background.
DuckTales.
His Dark
he
Materials.
was also in the Weird, the Al Yankovic story, and
yes, he's got a cameo in that.
And Bluey.
Yes, he played a horse.
Does a cameo. Yes, that's right. Voice cameo.
So
yeah,
wicked.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, cool! I'm excited for it.
So yes.
I wanted like a whole episode, but it didn't happen.
No, it's fine. It's all good. Okay. Next up, it is any final thoughts before we move on to the second topic?
No, I'm just very excited.
Look, I have no idea about Percy Jackson. I have no idea about the show. Yeah, bring it on. Is this like an origin story, or is it like you've got to watch the others to know what's going on?
No, you can watch the series without having watched the films.
Yeah, you'll be able to start on this one.
Yes.
Well,
you don't have to watch the films, but I recommend
thing.
you watch the films so you can understand why we love Logan Lerman as Percy Jackson.
Noted.
Can't be replaced. Okay. That's why I'm treating it as a separate thing, because Logan Lerman is Percy Jackson.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We actually, Fizz and I were already discussing it before we jumped on live. We were hoping, we're thinking that it would be awesome for Logan Lerman to appear in this series, but it is very wishful thinking.
I know, 100%. Let's see what.
Yes, let's see what is up next.
Next up, it is my favorite topic to talk about. It's the state of the Wizarding World. If you have been keeping up with the news and everything, Fantastic Beasts is very much of a no-go anymore. The original planned 5 series has now been scrapped to 3 based on numbers released by Warner Bros. They haven't confirmed it, but that is what they're leading to. A lot of fans are not happy with the fact that they scrapped Fantastic Beasts, especially because we haven't seen the confrontation between Dumbledore and Grindelwald. I just want them to reboot it. But David Zaslav, the CEO of Warner Bros. Discovery, has other plans of they want to add more sequels. They want to actually focus more on the Harry Potter characters that we know and love. So Harry Potter, so there is talk of a Cursed Child movie coming into play, which I'm very curious how they'll do that, because if they're going to have JKR involved in it, then the original cast will not participate. They've made that very clear. Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson and Rupert Grint have said that they will not be. Well, Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson have said that they won't be part of any Harry Potter property. J.K. Rowling is involved because of her stance. Things that we won't discuss, because we try to keep this all family friendly and chill and non-political. But yes, this is me trying to traverse around it and not get myself into crap.
No, it's a tricky one, but
it is
obviously, like, I agree with them anyway, but it would be strange to have like one and not the other. It would be very interesting to see how the Cursed Child story would go if JK's not doing it. So it'd be interesting to see who is going to do it. I don't know. There's so many mysteries, so many what ifs for that one.
It's not just that.
You
it's
don't
also
really
the fact...
need. Go,
Sorry.
Fizz, go.
It's also the fact that they've done casting changes in, like character changes in the Cursed Child. So, for example, in the Cursed Child, Hermione is a black woman. So, are they going to remain faithful to what they've done in the Cursed Child, or are they going, or would they be adamant that Emma Watson has to play Hermione Granger?
Well, that's the thing. If they're going to if it's a direct sequel to the original 8 movies, let's call it, are they going to cast Emma Watson and Daniel Radcliffe and all that to play them as the older forms, or can they just recast new people and then everyone can just be like, yep, we get it, these are the characters, but they're just like, it's just a different universe, maybe, who knows? But yeah, look, it's the whole JK stuff. I know what that is, a sketchy situation. The text is already there. Like, they don't really need her to pen out a script for it to be turned into a movie. So they just need the rights to turn it into a movie. And I guarantee that Warner Brothers owns everything to do with Harry Potter and the Wizarding World. They probably just have JK attached to the project just because, fan service, I guess. But yeah. Yeah, so I saw some news about the Fantastic Beasts stuff because I love that franchise. I thought it was, the very first movie I thought was fantastic, and then the last 2 have just been a bit meh. But is it official that they're not doing anymore? This is it.
It hasn't been
3 and done.
Completely confirmed, but based on numbers and how it was perceived,
well, it performed, right?
How it performed, it seems unlikely that they will continue it.
And being the Harry Potter fan that you are, Fizman, why do you think that Fantastic Beasts did not perform as well as Harry Potter? Is it because we just all love the books and it had just that following, or?
I think one of the main things is that they've gone against canon. So you have these really diehard Wizarding World fans, such as myself. They've gone against canon in so many things that they've sort of made it their own. For example, Professor McGonagall is not supposed to be an adult at the time of Fantastic Beasts. She's very much of a child. So you have that. Secondly, you have Dumbledore teaching Defense Against the Dark Arts when in actuality he actually taught Transfiguration. So there are so many different things where they've sort of taken creative liberties of it, and it's just the way they've gone. For example, like with the whole Johnny Depp casting and then recasting Mads Mikkelsen as Grindelwald.
I was going to say, for me, it's the recasting of the one character. Even though I knew, it was hard to keep up for me. Like, wait, is that the same person? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, it's just a different actor. That definitely threw me off a little bit.
Which I have no issue with Mads. I think he plays Grindelwald really well. He plays him very maniacal and he's creepy. Very much and it's someone that I would think Grindelwald would be. But also, it's everything to do with Ezra Miller and like all the controversy. So it isn't just Ezra Miller's affecting the Flash; he's also affecting the Wizarding World. But also, I just feel like they just decide they've made so many decisions and combined that with everything like Crimes of Grindelwald. It was not perceived that well. Like it was perceived well enough where it would warrant a third film, but the fans really didn't like it because of so many canon inaccuracies, and it wasn't faithful to the story, and it just felt like it wasn't like Fantastic Beasts, which is essentially supposed to be like a Pokemon game in the Harry Potter world, with like catching beasts and finding out about it. When they start introducing the whole Dumbledore and Grindelwald storyline, which we kind of knew would happen, but it's just like when starting to make that the focus instead of being Fantastic Beasts, then
Newt wasn't the main character anymore.
Yes, which then brings me on to my point of, if Anthony was the creative consultant in Warner Brothers, this is how the film should have gone. Sticking with the 5-year film plan, which is what they would have done. So first up, you have a Founders film, which talks about the establishment of Hogwarts, how the Founders came together. You also have the falling out of Godric Gryffindor and Salazar Slytherin, and you also touch upon the Chamber of Secrets being opened. You can have like a filler scene to kind of establish that. Second would be Fantastic Beasts, the first film, because that's really all you need. The third one would be the follow up of Voldemort. So going to school, you see his backstory and everything, and you get the little sprinkles of Dumbledore and Grindelwald, the confrontations and everything. And then you finish off with hearing about the battle, but you can see it or you could not. It's totally up to them. The next film, so we're at 3 films right now. The 4th film is a Marauders film. It is covering the whole Marauders from year 1 to year 7. You see James and Lily meet, and you see the whole story and the friendship of Lily and Snape. And then your 5th film is a Wizarding War, first Wizarding War film, which covers the first Wizarding War. And it leads up to, you have the prophecy, you have Harry being born, you have Neville being born, James and Lily getting married, all that conflict. And then how it ends is, it ends with Halloween 1981, and then 3 days later, 72 hours later, it ends with Dumbledore, Richard Harris arriving. You take the scene, and then you have it where Dumbledore kissed Privet Drive.
Yeah.
And that's how you have it full circle.
So
And
you
then
want
that's how
the
you do a
whole
prequel
history of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Well, yeah,
Like-
you lead it up to that, because that's how you do a prequel series.
Right. But then how
I love
does that...
how much you've thought about it. This is super detailed. I loved it.
The only problem is that, and I know what you're saying, but Fantastic Beasts, like, where's Newt's like whole
No, so
story arc?
you keep the Fantastic Beasts film as like one thing.
Right.
Just like you
But
Oh,
then
so
do
you're
we
just
not see
talking
him
about...
again?
you keep the first Fantastic film as it is, because it was
Yeah.
amazing, and that's it.
Yeah.
And
And,
then
then
we
the next
won't
one
see-
is called something else.
And then it changes to a different title.
Right.
So like
Okay.
every film is a different title. It doesn't fall under a banner, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is
I got you.
where
You
they
want one
which is
movie
where they
per, like,
gone
one
wrong. Yeah,
story.
which is why I think another mistake they made, it because they tied the whole Dumbledore and Grindelwald storyline to the Fantastic Beasts, and it's not really a Fantastic Beasts film.
Well,
Yeah.
but it makes you wonder why, like, the first one performed so well, and like, okay, Grindelwald was in it at the end, right? But
Yeah.
then Dumbledore wasn't in it. Like, they
No.
should have just kept going with their own characters. I think when they started to try and, universe build, and maybe the MCU is the thing that wrecked this thing, because the MCU was trying to connect all their different franchises together, and everyone's trying to make their own Infinity War, and
Mhm.
Warner Brothers is notorious for going, oh yeah, we're going to do that, but we're going to, instead of doing it in 5 or 10 movies, we're going to do it in one movie, and we're going to, make the Justice League all happen in Batman and Superman. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, look, it's a shame. I've read some stuff, and Fizman, you could probably say that this has been a thing that's been happening for years, but I read somewhere this week that they're talking about Harry Potter TV series on HBO Max. That could be a possibility as well. Yeah, it's a shame, because the Wizarding World is, like, they've just coined it the Wizarding World after the first Fantastic Beasts movie. Is that right? Or was it called Wizarding World before it?
No, it was after Fantastic Beasts. So originally, the Wizarding World website was originally called Pottermore, and it was very much
Yes.
of an interactive experience for fans, and
Mhm.
it was so good. And then as soon as Fantastic Beasts hit it, they decided to combine it together, and they just ruined that magic. I feel like Fantastic Beasts should have been kept as very much of a separate entity and not
Solo
part
film.
of the Wizarding World.
Right.
And they should have kept Pottermore the way it was, because it was like so good, and it really brought new fans. And like Warner Brothers wants to bring new fans, like they have these experiences happening, which brings me. They say that they want to foster new fans and bring on new people to the franchise and everything, but they're not being inclusive. And that is the issue. A lot of these experiences, like for example, the Yule Ball experience and Hagrid's Forbidden Forest experience, all of those are based out in the US, which I question why. Because here's the thing, the US in Harry Potter canon had nothing to do with it. It all started in the UK, and yet the UK has nothing. Like, If you want to be more inclusive and want to bring on new fans, then bring these experiences to these countries. I'm also being very salty because we don't get much Harry Potter stuff here in Australia.
Well,
See, this is the issue that we have with almost everything, though. It's not just
exactly.
Harry Potter,
It's not just Harry
Warner
Potter.
Brothers.
It's Marvel. It's Disney. It's Star Wars. They just forget
everything.
Australia exists, and it's not fair.
Fizman,
As a fan of this content,
I've got the answer for you, and it's the thing that all businesses have in common: money.
I know.
That's what it comes down to, bro. Like, money. We don't have the infrastructure for it to come to Australia. Like, fair enough. Like, you know, you're a fan and you know a couple of fans, and they might get a couple of people out of it. But it's the same reason why we don't have a Disneyland. It's the same reason why we don't have a Universal Studios. It's the same reason that, you know, Warner Brothers, you know, Movie World is, you know, I'm surprised it's still around anymore, because who knows about Bugs Bunny and, you know, Daffy Duck? Like, the Looney Tunes aren't really a big thing. So that's all it comes down to at the end of the day. And I know what you're saying, the UK, they're the ones that, you know, started the whole Harry Potter thing, but Warner Brothers in America is the ones with the money that are willing to invest and put their, you know, the money behind it. So that's all it comes down to at the end of the day. Unfortunately, it's just a money thing. It's just money makes the world go around, apparently, especially in business.
At first, when the Harry Potter came out, however many years ago, it was the UK that got all of it, because it was all based there, and it didn't actually. I mean, Fizz, you'll know more about this than I do, but I'm pretty sure it was like so popular in the UK, and that the US weren't getting things. This is like when Harry Potter like first came out, and so they didn't have much in the US. So I feel like now, like, as much as I'm like, yes, I want everyone to be included, but there's so many people that are going to miss out. Like, every country is going to be like, we never get anything, because the US, they've monopolized almost everything. It's always going to be the US that get the abundance of all of this stuff that we miss out on.
Well, see, Warner Brothers in the Warner Brothers Movie World in Queensland actually had a Harry Potter exhibit there, and it was actually one of the first ones before the theme parks came into play and everything. So
I went to it as a kid. That was for the first movie too.
Yeah, so I'm just like,
and to be honest, I don't know why they haven't built on that, because as one of the franchises that actually is still like for Warner Brothers, they've got like DC and all that down pat at the Movie World. But yeah, back when the Philosopher's Stone was around, there was like a mini sort of like Diagon Alley, and you got to walk through it. And I remember I got picked to use the wand, and I had to say whatever the spell was, and as I waved it, glass shattered above, and the host was like, "Okay, we better move on before we get in trouble." Like, as a kid, it was like unreal. Oh, that's right. And you had to tap the brickwork,
brick wall
for it to the brick wall to open up, and then it opened up and took us into the. Wow, I haven't thought about that in such a long time, but there you go. I don't know why they took that away. It was just a pop-up activation, and they should have kept it there. They really should have, but I guess that wasn't really bringing new people in. Maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a shame.
Yeah,
it's unfair.
All right.
Anyways,
yeah.
Enough talk about the state of the Wizarding World. All I'm going to say is that the final thing I'm going to say, if anyone from Warner Brothers is watching, hire me. I know how this does. Like, for example, if you want to do the Harry Potter series as a TV show, you need a team of fandom consultants, and let me be the person that leads it. Let me be the person who leads the Harry Potter fandom consultants, and I will find you the people who know the most about the Wizarding World, and will be able to give something that the fans will enjoy, and also is very true to the canon of the Wizarding World.
I like it. It's a good pitch.
Yes.
Warner Brothers, if you're listening. Here he is.
You have my details. All you got to do is reach out.
That's good. All right. Is it time for trivia? I'm excited.
It is time for trivia.
You got me excited with the questions before. Fizman said that I would really enjoy this episode's questions, so I'm very excited. I've been waiting. It's been on my mind ever since you mentioned it.
Yeah, this is a very interesting topic, and it's something I've kind of fell in the rabbit hole, but I will let my past self explain it. So, take it away.
Geekazoid.
What is up, everyone? It is Captain Fizman here with another trivia. So I've sort of gone down the rabbit hole of alternate movie titles, as in what movies were called in other countries. So what I thought I'd do is that for this week, I would test you on alternate movie titles. So I have 4 questions for you. I have 2 multiple choice and 2 write-in ones. As always, make sure to interact in the comments down below. Let us know how well you did. We'll highlight some of your answers if you get some of them right. Get those thinking caps on because it's time for this week's trivia. Okay, I'm going to start you off easy. So, question 1. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is the alternate movie title for which film? Do you think you know it? The next question, this is a multiple choice one, so it's easier. Food General Mobilization is the Chinese translation for which film? Is it A, Ratatouille, B, Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off, C, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, or D, Anthony just made it up and it doesn't exist? What do you think? A, B, C, or D? Okay, our third question. The Boy Who Drowned in Chocolate Sauce is the Danish to English translation of which film? Do you think you know it? Okay, and your final question, Mum, I Missed the Plane is known as which film in France? Is it Home Alone or Home Alone 2? Do you think you know it? Think about every different type of film you've seen, mull over those questions, and I'll be back very soon to give you the answers. Bye for now.
Geekazoid.
That was very good, Fizz. I'm
Thank you.
actually when your variant told us what the questions was, I got excited because I love knowing the different titles in different countries. Like we've got Suddenly 30, which is 13 going
13
on 30.
going on 30, yeah.
You've got what else is there? No, my mind's gone blank, but there's one. there's one
Bad
example.
Neighbors in the US is Bad Neighbors in Australia.
Oh,
And that's the one with Zac Efron and Seth Rogen.
I was gonna say there's another Zac Efron one. One of them's called Are We Officially Dating? But then
Yeah.
in the
And
US
then
it's something else.
Yeah, I'm officially dating, and the other one is I know exactly the one you're talking about. It's
Yeah.
with Michael B. Jordan
Get
and Miles Teller.
Yeah, that one. But I'm actually just these answers that I've given are just absolute guesses because I feel like they're all tricks. So I try and think outside the box, and I'm like, oh no, I'll go to this one. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Do you have any
What do you
ideas,
reckon?
Jay?
I definitely know the first one. Definitely know the first one. That was actually brought up in one of your trivias on the
It is, yeah.
the trivia episode of Geekazoid. I feel like I know number 2. No idea about number 3 though. And then number 4. I mean, it could be either one, right? But
50-50 shot.
50-50 shot. That's exactly right.
I got a chance. Yes.
I mean, if you guys know the answers, let us know in the comments below. Some of you guys are already chiming in and letting us know. And if you're listening to this,
saying last one, Home Alone 2, maybe.
Yeah.
Terry says Philosopher's Stone, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. 3. He didn't give an answer. 4.
Yeah,
Home Alone 1.
I'm with Little Weird Guy on
He also said evil woman here is saving Silverman in the US.
Yeah.
Tal says Philosopher's Stone. Abdullah says Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, I mean Philosopher's Stone's a pretty easy one.
I thought I'd start it easy just so you get the gist of how it would be going. But yeah.
No, that's great. No, well done. They're good. You're getting good with it. And I love your nano leaves in the back, by the way, on that video. They're looking nice and bright. That's
Very
wicked.
schmick.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to find out those answers a little bit later on in the show. But I can see a couple more things that you guys have listed here. I probably will disappear when you're talking about one of them, which you have last, because I'm still yet to see it. But you still got you got 2 more trending topics. So how about you pick? Tay, are you going to pick, or Fizz, are you going to pick?
Yeah.
No, I'm ready.
Let's go for the best news we have gotten all year. We have the
Exactly.
Princess Diaries 3 has finally been confirmed, which is a massive relief. Been waiting years for this one.
This has been talked about for years. Like Anne
Oh.
Hathaway, when people ask her in interviews if it's
Mhm.
happening, she said, "It's coming," but this is actually our confirmation that it is happening. And I feel like the reason why they're doing it now is because they don't want to risk. Because Julie Andrews is getting to the age where she's at high risk. Just say.
Fizman,
So I
you
feel
could just say that Julie Andrews could retire soon, but yes, that's
could retire soon. Well, you never know. Like with everything that's been happening and people biting the dust, you never know what could happen. But so I feel like this is why they're doing it now, because it's like they're bringing back things from the 90s and 2000s, and what a better thing to bring than than Princess Diaries.
I think what's happened as well recently, there's been such a surge in 90s like throwbacks that like we're all into it. Like, you know, the Y2K style, you know, came back in. We're doing we're reverting so many things like trends, like fashion trends, movies. We're bringing so many things back from the past and rebooting them. Think about how many like reboots we've had in the last couple of years of like our favorite movies in the 80s or 90s. I feel like they're just following suit. They've realized how massive their fandom still is and going strong. So I feel like they had no choice. It was about damn time, if I'm honest.
Exactly.
Is this something that, like, look, I know everyone wants a sequel for something, but is there a story that's worth telling in the Princess Diaries 3? Because look, I'd never seen the films before. I think during the first wave of lockdowns, I watched them with Natasha.
Okay, good. I was about to say, if you
them.
haven't watched it, then I feel like we need to kick you out of this live stream.
Goodbye.
No, but you know what? I think this was Anne Hathaway's like one of her first major roles, and I can understand the charm and why everyone fell in love with her, and also cast her in so many movies. And now she's like everyone knows who she is. So I mean, she's a lot older now as well. When did the last one come out? And could potentially she have a family in this one? Is that the way they're going?
I was going to ask that. Yeah, I was going to say, I would love to see her actually, like, see how she's ruled Genovia, because in the number 2, that's when she, like, just gets coronated. So we only just see her become Queen of Genovia.
Do you want to know fun facts?
Yes, I do, of course.
Stan Lee makes a cameo in Princess Diaries 2 as a wedding guest.
I have seen that one.
Yeah.
Does he play himself, or does he just play some?
No, he plays a foreign visitor who loves the Three Stooges.
Right. Is Stanley Tucci? Is it Tucci? Is he in this movie? Or
no, it's Hector Elizondo.
Hector Elizondo.
He plays Joe. Or Joey.
That's who I'm. Yes, so that's who I'm getting confused with.
Or
okay, cool.
Not Joey, just Joe.
Or just is that like a movie reference?
Oh yeah, sorry. He prefers to be called Joe. In the movie, in the first one, Anne Hathaway asks, she's like, "Oh, Joey?" Like, you know, to be like, "Oh, can I call you Joey?" And he's like, "No," like dead serious. He's like, "No, just Joe." And like later, you hear it again in the second movie. She's quite upset, and he comes to like comfort her, and he's like, "Would it help you if you called me Joey?" And she like looks at him and she's like smiles and she's like, "No, just Joe." So it's like a nice like little full circle moment of that little interaction, which is awesome. But I would definitely love to see. I want to know, does she marry Nicholas? I don't
think she will. I feel like
I don't think she was either.
Because
I feel like that wasn't going to last long.
The whole premise of Princess Diaries 2 is that she didn't need a man to rule the country of Genovia, to rule the nation. So I feel like it would be a disservice to the character of Mia if she does marry Nicholas. I feel like they may have a child together. Or this is actually a really
that would
fun
be scandalous.
Theory. This is a really fun theory which I saw on TikTok, and it was that they should just have Sandra Oh as Principal Gupta come back and find out that she's a princess. So me is helping navigate Gupta.
Out of all the possible fanfics that could happen, they want the prince. Like I do love her, don't get me wrong, but what a twist.
Or even Mandy Moore's character, Anna, have her come back and sort of have that friendship to really show the growth.
That would be interesting. Yeah, I would just say I want to see how she's matured.
Exactly, because Mandy Moore said that she would be interested in reprising her role.
I love Mandy Moore. I hated her. Like when I was so young when this movie came out, but when I watched it, I was like, oh, I hate her. And then I didn't really like Mandy Moore as an actress. I'm like, no, she was mean. And so I'm like, she's a convincing actress in that case. I was like, she convinced me that she was a bully and did all these horrible things to our Queen of Genovia. So I couldn't stand by it, but I do actually, obviously now Rapunzel. I can't falter on that one. So I would love to see some of like more of like our original characters come back into it somehow. Maybe she comes back to the States or something, and I don't know, maybe there's a high school reunion or something.
There's a character that needs to be in there, and I would riot if they are not in there. Do you want to guess who that is?
Lily?
Fat Louie.
Fat Louie. I think Fat Louie might not be around anymore.
No, don't tell me that.
I mean, she had him when she was a young child. She was like 13. Then she's like, 20-something in Genovia and still has Fat Louie. That cat's going to be using up its 9 lives. if it's still going to be around, like, there's no way that they can still, like, if they're going to have to time jump. That's the only way they can do it. So I just don't think that he will make an appearance. But maybe he has some children. Who knows? Maybe Fat Louie got busy in Genovia.
But also Lily as well. Lily should be in there as well. She kind of needs to.
When I heard the announcement, for some reason, instantly, not that I actually want it, but it popped through my head. Imagine if they had like a little reunion between her and Michael. I don't know if I want them to be together. So Jaden, just to fill you in here, Michael is her best friend Lily's brother, and they had a little bit of a relationship in the first movie.
Yes, okay.
It didn't last very, very long. She obviously was leaving the States to go be a princess in Genovia. So that didn't stick around. But it was a very cute relationship between them.
Can we also talk about the apology she sent him? Like the pizza with the
I'm sorry.
With this, I'm sorry on there. Like,
I love that. If someone doesn't give me an apology with a pizza with it written in pepperoni, I don't want it.
David,
keep your apologies.
David, are you listening?
Yeah. You hear that? Pizza now.
So funny.
Yeah. Any thoughts, Jaden?
Look, I'm excited for it. Julie Andrews would bring it on. I'd love to see her on the screen again. And like Disney Plus. I'm assuming this is going to be a Disney Plus exclusive movie. Mm-hmm. Why not? Fan service all the way. Cameos, bring it on. And if Anne Hathaway's all on this, that's a big win. Like,
is yet to sign a deal. So
so they haven't signed anything. But both her and Julie Andrews, like Fizman said it just a little bit before, they have both expressed their feelings towards wanting to do a reboot for years now. Like both of them in interviews, obviously it's like one of those questions that they get asked all the time. And they've both said, like, I would love to come back. So now I feel like it's just the right time to do it.
I would love it.
And I think it depends
Raven's
on
character.
It probably depends on the script as well. Like it's got to be a story worth telling, and
absolutely.
Deborah Martin Chase is returning, who produced the first 2 films, so I'm happy about that.
That's promising.
Then they have Adrita Merkej. Hopefully, I didn't butcher that name. Who worked on shows like Supergirl, Scorpion, and Reacher is the screenwriter for it. So I feel like it should be good.
I hope, actually, no, maybe.
No,
that might be touchy. I was going to say the waiter in it that we've seen multiple times, and he catches the bracelet.
Oh my god, yes!
That happens every time, like happens all the time. That would be an absolute trifecta if he could appear in it again, but I'm not sure if he is around.
Waiter.
We're really getting
Diaries.
blunt today with we can't really beat around the bush with these nicely. Are they still around?
The waiter who cleans it up is played by actor Marvin Braverman. Let's
Marvin
see if
Braverman.
he.
Come on,
is-
Marvin.
yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Come on, Marvin.
You can do it, Marv. Oh. Give us good
It
news.
says
please.
that he is still alive.
Ooh, so you're saying we have a chance?
There is a chance. I don't know if he's
gonna
retired
happen.
from acting, but he is still. He's
He'll
still
come out of retirement for it. It's fine.
Exactly.
I'll talk
If
to him.
if Hayden
Don't worry.
Panettiere is coming back out of retirement for Scream 6, then he'll definitely come out of retirement for.
He's got to. Yeah, he'll just follow Hayden's suit, of course. He'll be like, oh, well,
Wait,
she's
hold
doing.
on.
No.
I'm just looking. I'm looking. No.
Don't-
It's a different Marvin Braverman.
Oh.
Damn obituary sites.
Mm.
Anyways, let's. Sorry. This is what happens when you leave Tay and I to our own devices.
Don't bring
This is-
Tay into this.
Yeah, I'm innocent in this. I do no wrong, thank you.
Anyways, let's move on to the next topic, which is my favorite thing that we're talking about.
No,
which is-
seriously, is it?
Yeah,
I wouldn't have
guess.
guessed.
It is Hogwarts Legacy. So, if you were here last episode, the last episode, we talked about how there was a community showcase happening where they're going to be talking about showing the character customization. They're also going to be talking about so this is the character customization. They're going to be giving us a tour of Hogwarts, as well as so these are presets. What you're seeing on the screen are preset costumes.
But then you
from
can do
there-
all of the custom stuff, right?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can go custom and everything. So you can
I love the options.
do glasses as well, hairstyles, hair colors.
Watch me spend 6 hours just making my character.
I know, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
You
'Cause
also
I
can
can't play
collect
Sims
more.
for that reason.
You can collect cosmetic items. So, for example, they mentioned how you have a set amount of glasses and everything that you can pick, or you can choose your tone of voice as well, and the difficulty, and you name your character, and you can choose whether you're a witch or a wizard. So, it should be very interesting how the character customization does work. But you can't choose the Hogwarts house. That's like in the later part of it. Yeah, this is the
In the
character customization. Yeah. Moving on. So this is the Hufflepuff dormitory. Like, look how pretty it is.
Right by spells as we get into combat, but
This is
And
so
then-
cool.
They get into combat. So this is the Hufflepuff dormitory, and over here you have your spell. So you can choose like 4 different spells to kind of equip on there, and you have like the different buttons for each part. Trying to get to
Look at that fireplace.
combat. Look at that. This is just so cool. Like, we'll see some magic happen very soon.
Andrew's gonna make. We got some XP for it.
Like,
and
it just it
Are they full
feels.
of alcohol? These barrels, or like what are these? alcohol
No.
barrels
So
doing?
how it works
Vinegar.
is
Just vinegar.
so the Hufflepuff common room is located in the basement near the kitchen, and you have to tickle a pear in order to get there. But if you don't do it right, you'll be sprayed with vinegar
I want to talk about battle.
No wonder no one wants to be a Hufflepuff. You gotta live in a basement.
to stop people from actually getting into the common room. So if you don't tickle the
gloomy.
right
Yeah.
fruit,
How you actually.
I'm a Hufflepuff. What are you talking about?
Sorry about that. I'm very sorry for your loss
Oh, thanks.
and your lack of decor in your basement.
yeah, those are the house hourglasses that were filled with like different rubies for the point. Like,
Wow.
really cool. Like, this is just the interior of Hogwarts. Like, look how cool it is. It's
Could you
so-
imagine
and,
when
like,
we get this in like augmented reality?
I know, right?
And just be in VR, just walking through this yourself. Oh,
Oh,
That would be a
I'm sure it will
dream.
happen.
Yes.
I'm sure there'll be
Some
like
other
a
things that I
PlayStation.
should mention is that the trophy list got leaked, and it looks like this is going to be a game that you're going to be playing for ages. They also mention the name Pruitt, which if you're familiar with the Harry Potter canon, Pruitt is Molly Weasley's maiden name. So it could be an ancestor to Molly Weasley.
Wow.
You have side quests and like different quests, so it isn't just one singular ending. There'll be alternate endings. Like, it looks so good. Like quests like Blue Flames. It feels. Can we like this is your dialogue, so you choose like based on how it looks like. Yeah, if you can't play Quidditch, that's totally fine. But it looks so good, and I can't wait.
Is that right? Did they actually? This is the Slytherin dorms in the dungeons.
In the dungeons.
They're just getting prepared for what their future is like. They may as well sleep in a cell early on.
Stones. We also have combat. So that's what the combat looks like. You're practicing on a dummy.
I'm assuming the yellow feather is a levitation spell.
Yes, we got it.
Guardium Leviosa.
It just
Leviosa, not Leviosa.
This looks really, really cool and really polished. Hey,
I know, right?
I like
And
all
it
the
just-
details.
Let's get back.
And like you said, this is going.
What?
Hopefully, this is going to be a game
That's
that
stalling.
takes a long time to finish. Which I think lately, a lot of the games that I've seen, people are finishing them so quickly. There's like not a lot to it, or like
Yeah,
you
but
just.
because this is very much of a single player campaign. Like, this is just look at the combat. I can't wait. And that's Protego with the protection, Levi Corpus.
Taylor, you say this might be a game that takes forever to play, and it probably is. But knowing Fizman, he'll finish it over the weekend, like trophies and all. Let's
I was
be
gonna
honest.
say, you guys are gonna be like my gauge. I'm gonna be like, okay, so Fizman's gonna finish it like however quick he finishes it. I'm like, all right, that's like the very quickest. Then I'll maybe see like you, Jaden, where I know that you sometimes put the games back on the shelf for a while, which I sometimes do. I was like, so if I go somewhere in between you guys, then I'll be like, all right, it'll take me this amount of time. I'll use you as my two ends of the spectrum of how long it takes it to finish a game.
Say, I play a game like the first couple of days, and then never get to finish them, unfortunately. But this looks really, really cool. Looks insane.
So excited.
I'm sure there's going to be so much DLC for this, and I know that Morningstar Legion was saying Quidditch isn't a thing in this, but I'm sure
Not right now.
Yeah, I think there's so much going on for this game at the moment. Like you could, in a year's time, just go, oh, by the way, we've added Quidditch, and then you're going to get all these new people, and then everybody jumping back on, and it's just going to build up the hype, and then they'll be like, now there's multiplayer option where you all can meet up, and then you have to do you need to have people online playing with you to do these side quests or whatever. Like it's just endless.
Yeah,
what
they'll
they
be
can
smart
do.
about it.
Fizman,
They'll be able to reel them back in.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Fizman, what's the game frame rate on this? It's 4K. Is it like 120 or 60
it is
or?
looking to be as in the FPS.
Yes.
Give me a minute. Let me just.
Little weird guy says Fizman will finish it over the weekend with 100% achievements unlocked. Yeah.
So Hogwarts
Most likely.
Legacy on PC runs at 180p, 60 FPS.
180p.
Yeah.
Not 1080.
So not
180.
not 4K.
1080p. That's what it is. 1080p, 60 FPS.
Yeah. So
1080.
yeah. So full HD. Okay.
Yeah, full HD.
Yeah, full HD.
And
Okay,
recommended
and no 4K
you
option.
have. So the PC requirements are minimum Windows 10 64-bit. Recommended Windows 10 64-bit. CPU, they say Intel Core i5 is the minimum. i7
Right.
or AMD Ryzen could work. Memory minimum 8 gig, but recommended is 16 gig. GPU, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1070 or AMD RX Vega 56. Or they recommend NVIDIA GeForce 1080 Ti or AMD RX 5700. And they say 85 gigabytes available of storage. And they say that SSD preferred, HDD is supported.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's pretty standard overall in terms of games. Like all games require, like they recommend these
Yeah.
settings, but like to clock it out and max it out, that'll be really interesting because there's a lot of detail going into these visuals that you're sharing, and especially if the pictures on the walls move as well. Yeah, there's a lot of like graphics that needs to be processed to make this thing happen. So yeah, I can see a lot of enhancements are going to be happening along the way while this game is live as well. And I'm sure Fizman's going to be in their DMs going, hey, by the way, this isn't canon, and oh, by the way, this, that, and the other. And
I will be
yeah.
streaming it on Twitch, on my Twitch, and I will absolutely
Fizman,
be providing comments.
can you do us a favor? Can you like just shave your face before you start playing?
Of course,
And
I
then-
will.
And then grow it while he's still playing.
And grow it while you're playing, so it's like real time. So we don't even have to look at the day. We don't need to be like, hey, it's the third day. We can be like, okay, Fizman has a full beard now, so he's like, 2 days into this game, and then when you come back, you're just like, you look like I was gonna say a hobbit. It's not a hobbit. You look like a dwarf or something like that with a big beard. That'd be mad. Real time, grow that beard.
I love that idea. It's got to happen now.
Yes, Fizman
Wolf
will
is
dress up for the occasion. I have my cosplay ready to go.
Of course he does.
Perfect.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this game. Not long now. Not long
Not
now.
long.
I feel like this is one that we're definitely going to have to play together. Oh, yeah. I was going to say we'll try play together on stream, but that maybe not work. Anyway, we can figure something out.
Fizman's
Yeah, Fizman's got all of it.
Yeah, we're gonna be like, oh, I did. Fizman's gonna be like, did it, done it, completed it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and we're just gonna be like, you know what? We're not playing anymore. This game's
I
not
give
fun
up.
anymore, Fizman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wicked. That's great.
Terry wants
So-
you to cosplay Hagrid. I also second
No
that.
fake beard. No fake beard needed. That's great.
He'll
yeah,
go from
Fizman,
Harry
you can-
Potter to Hagrid by the time that he's
Right.
stopped,
Yeah.
he hasn't shaved those couple of days.
Yeah. And then,
I like
but then we
it.
can say, you're a Hagrid, Fizman. That was really lame. Sorry, I tried to make it work.
Before we move on to trivia, let's get one more final note from Tay.
Oh,
Okay, you're
yes.
up.
I just want to brush up for anyone that was interested because this is one that I'm pretty excited for. Our series Wednesday is coming out next Wednesday. So
Yeah.
put that on your calendars. So yeah, November 23rd. I believe we are getting all 8 episodes at once. I'm 90% sure.
Yep.
Yep,
Netflix,
90%.
yep.
There we go. But yeah, so I'm just so excited to see this. I actually, for some reason, even though I've spoken about this on Geekazoid many times already and said the date, even I was like looking at my phone a week ago and I wanted to be like, yes, it's coming out, and I realized that I was like a week too early. So I was a little bit disappointed, but I'm very excited. It's finally coming out. I've seen a lot more like little sneak peeks on TikTok. I'm trying not to ruin it for myself, but I'm seeing like some more looks of like the academy, and I'm just, yeah, I'm pretty keen for it. Are you gonna watch this one, or is this gonna go at the back of the list? Where's Wednesday going in the list of to watch?
For me,
you, Jaden?
this is
Sorry,
something I want to
yes.
watch. I'm interested to see where they take this. We spoke about it a little bit last week when we did our monthly wrap, so everyone knows where I sit with this. But looks unreal. So bring on Wednesday. On Wednesday.
I'm tired of watching the same cooking show over and over for entertainment. So yes, I'm excited for this. It'll be definitely on a must watch.
Beautiful.
Good.
Hey.
Yes. All right. Should we
Continue,
do?
Tay. No, continue, Tay.
the-
What were you saying?
I had already forgotten, so I was trying to quickly brush over my little
That's okay.
fumble there. Thank
That's
you
okay.
for pointing it out.
Before we throw it over to the trivia, because I'm going to jump off, and I know you guys are going to be talking about Black Panther as well. But good luck to everyone with the trivia. Make sure you get your questions in if you haven't, all your answers in if you haven't done so already. But guys, just like to say thank you so much for organizing the podcast and all that sort of stuff. You guys have done an amazing job, and I'm glad that I'm tuning off now because I don't want to hear any spoilers for Black Panther. I've done so well avoiding it on the internet, and I'm going to keep that going as well. But yes, if you guys...
You went as far as to go on a holiday.
If you want. Yeah, yeah.
Just to
That's
avoid
right.
it.
Well, the closest cinema here is 45 minutes away. But it's all right. I can wait till I get back to Sydney. But apparently, it's not going to hit Disney Plus until January or February. They were saying. I
So
read today
that's
somewhere,
really interesting because See How They Run is on Disney Plus now.
already on.
And then
Yeah, I saw it today.
Amsterdam,
Yeah.
which is what we were literally talking about in October, is on Disney Plus next week.
Even that
really?
happened with Hocus Pocus. That was in
Yeah.
cinemas, and like a week later, it was on Disney Plus. Because I remember it was so soon that I wanted to go and see it in cinemas, but I was like, I can wait 2 extra days and watch it at home. So that's what I did.
Right,
They're doing it
right.
with a fair few of them these days. I've noticed that they release them in cinemas, and then it's only a couple of weeks later, it's on Disney Plus. I don't know how they figure it out, whether it's like how it does in box office sales. I'm sure they would have to plan it in
Maybe they're
advance.
trying to milk it. Maybe they're trying to milk it as much as. Maybe it's doing really well performance-wise.
No,
it is
Amsterdam
Christmas
isn't
time,
doing that
so-
well.
Oh,
Well,
I
no,
thought
I'm
we were
talking about Black Panther. That is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's doing
Yeah.
very
But anyway,
well.
guys, peace out. I'll catch you
Okay.
next week. All the best. Good
Yes.
luck with the trivia. I'll find out my answers when I re-listen to it on the podcast. Okay.
That's why you're leaving,
Awesome
because
job,
you know
guys.
you got them wrong, hey?
I want you to say. I
Maybe.
want to know. I want to know how well you did. So
Yeah,
say
what were your
all,
answers?
Then
Don't
I'll
worry.
give you.
Oh. Okay, so mine was the same as Little Weird Guy. Philosopher's Stone, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, I'm pretty sure. And I think it's Home Alone 1? Because it would be weird for them to call it. I can't remember. I couldn't figure out the third one.
Okay.
Yeah, I just guessed. First thing
Yeah.
that popped to my head.
Yeah, I would have no idea. Anyway, all the best.
right.
I'll chat to you guys very, very soon. Keep geeking out.
Okay.
Yes, enjoy your
Hey,
holiday.
stole my line.
Thank you. I had to get it in there. All right, see you guys. Bye.
So,
Bye. All right, let's kick it over to our trivia answers now, because now I'm a little bit, I'm not too sure of myself. I know I've got one right, but I'm just going to guess the others as usual. So let's see how good my guessing skills are this week.
okay.
Geekazoid.
How did you go? Did you get 1 out of 4, 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4, or did you get all 4 right? Anyways, I'm here to give you the answers to this week's trivia. Okay, question 1. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is the alternate movie title for which film? It is, of course, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Okay, next question. Food General Mobilization is the Chinese translation for which film? Is it A, Ratatouille, B, Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off, C, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, or D, neither, Anthony just made it up? It is, of course, A, Ratatouille. Okay, the third question. The Boy Who Drowned in Chocolate Sauce is the Danish to English translation for which film? If you said either Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, you would be correct. And then our final question, see if you got 4 out of 4. Mom, I Missed the Plane is known as which film in France? It is, of course, Home Alone. So you had a bit of a 50-50 shot. Let us know how you did in the comments down below. Also, make sure to follow Geeky on all our social media platforms, and make sure to follow me at Captain Fizman on all my social media platforms. I'll see you guys next week for a brand new trivia. Bye for now.
Geekazoid.
So I got 3 out of 4
Yay!
right. So the only one I got wrong was the Ratatouille one. I thought you
Yeah.
made it up.
No, it's
Uh,
actually that is
there
the
you go.
Chinese. That's the Chinese translation for it.
Interesting. I thought it'd be something. I think maybe just because I know that it's a meal, that I thought it would be something different. But yeah, so that one threw me off. But I got the others right, so I'm pretty happy with myself.
There we go.
I was about to ask you what you got. You didn't. You knew. All right, but what do we got? We got Tal says that he got 1. Abdullah got 1. And Terry said Willy Wonka when I was
Willy
answering
Wonka when I
blanked out.
answered blanked on the question itself.
Yeah.
Oh, Terry got 2.
Nice, Terry.
That's good.
Amazing.
Okay. Shall
job,
we
everyone.
get to our final discussion point?
Yes, we are at the hour. Let's do our final chat, which is, of course, Black Panther. I know the guys spoke about it a little bit last week, and I missed out, so I'm jumping back in with it because I need to talk about it. We won't give any spoilers, so don't worry if you're
This is
listening
a
and haven't seen
spoiler-free
it yet.
zone.
Absolute spoiler-free zone. I absolutely loved this film. I did, shamefully, I cried. I did have some tears, which was a little bit scary, seeing though I had a lot of dark eye makeup on for my Scarlet Witch cosplay there. So that was risky, but I did bring like a whole handful of tissues. And definitely there's a lot of eerie but beautiful moments of silence in this movie, especially in like the first 15 minutes. It is really just immediately you there's a feeling, like it gives you this feeling, and the whole cinema's quiet, and I can hear people already sniffling within the first 15 minutes. One of them was me, but it was definitely incredible. Look, I probably could have been. Who knows? I was definitely I was glued to the screen. So quite often I have a pretty poor attention span. So sometimes my head will wander off or kind of have a look around me, but I was actually glued to the screen. I think one thing that helped me is a lot of the visuals. It was so beautiful. All of the colors that they've used as well, I just feel it's so bright and vibrant, which helps for someone like me to stay focused on the screen if it's drawing my attention with all these bright, flashy colors. Abdullah says, Wakanda Forever, just heartfelt, overwhelmed with this movie. Absolutely. It does pull on your heartstrings a little bit. Didn't take long to translate the mural with Tragic Boseman. Yeah. So
an interesting fun fact, the license plate that
I had this written down to mention. Great minds think alike, Fizz. I love it. But you take it away.
So the license plate that Martin Freeman's Senator Ross. Wait, is it? No, it's not. It's Martin Freeman's character. I'm blanking on his name.
Yeah. Shuri's favorite colonizer.
Shuri's favorite colonizer. The license plate is actually Chadwick Boseman's birthday. So that was a really good Easter egg to find out.
Tal, that is very funny that you just mentioned that. I was just going to say I had the same feeling. I was a little bit skeptical. When I've seen movies and one of like our main characters, like the actor has passed away, it's obviously a very tricky thing to get right because, you have to be obviously respectful. You want to honor the person as well. And it's hard to kind of get that, the right way sometimes. I genuinely believe they did an incredible job as like, for this movie, for like a tribute. It was wonderful. I love how they still kind of kept his memory alive, but it also, I don't know. They just did it in such a very, very great way. I just feel like they nailed it. You're going to add on to that?
If you listen to the podcast, you would know that where Black Panther 2 kind of lies in my rankings of Phase 4 films. I definitely not that.
Look, I'm not mad about it.
A lot of choices they made for characters feels very questionable and doesn't make sense. Tay, we'll talk about this more when the podcast ends because you'll understand. But I thought it was a really amazing tribute to Chadwick. Like, this film felt very much of not just a superhero film, but very much of a tribute to Chadwick Boseman and paying respect to Black Panther as well. I find it really interesting certain choices made for specific characters without going into spoiler detail. One of my favorite parts of it is there's a scene. How do I explain this without spoiling it? But I feel like TikTok would have already spoiled it. Without spoiling too much of what happens, there's a scene where there's an attack on a Wakandan outreach center, and the Dora Milaje, I swear, like the Dora Milaje are just so badass. Like, give me a film just about the Dora Milaje, and I would be so happy. Like, give me an origin film about how they came about, them on secret missions. It just feels
Their training.
so good. Exactly, training. But yeah, also, you really empathize with Namor and his
I was about
character,
to say that.
Yeah, like I found I was really empathizing with Namor, and I'm like, no, I totally understand where you're coming from, and you're totally right in why you want to do certain things.
Yeah.
And which is
Absolutely.
really interesting because Marvel has done that with several different villains. For example, Ghost in Ant-Man and the Wasp, where you understand why they've made certain choices. The one thing I don't
you
understand
kind of
is
see
why
it
they
from the
made
other side.
Exactly. It makes you really empathize with the villains, and they don't really become villains, they're more anti-heroes. The one villain I do not empathize at all with is Red Skull, I think.
Yeah, I don't think I have any nice things to say about him, really. Cool skull? I don't know.
Loki, you understand. Yellow Jacket, not so much. Like, throughout all these different Marvel villains, there are certain ones where you empathize a lot with them. You understand why they're doing what they do.
Absolutely. What were your thoughts now, like, seeing as though we're talking about empathizing with like one of our like villains or anti-heroes, Killmonger?
I thought it was a very interesting choice to put him.
So I'm meaning, like, did you, but without?
No, I understand it, but I don't empathize with him.
Okay, I want to know whether that's where you draw the line.
The way he went about it is not. Like,
I agree.
Like, for example,
it's definitely the way they do it.
Yeah, exactly. The way you go about enacting certain decisions, I just don't agree with. Like, for example, if we want to bring it back to Ant-Man and the Wasp, Ghost was really only looking for a way to save themselves because they were infected with this virus. So I understand why they made certain decisions. Do I agree with most of them? No. But I understand why they're doing what they do.
Yeah, definitely. But no, bringing it back to Namor, I definitely as well empathize with him, and I couldn't find myself like being like, oh, like, you know, I hope, you know, I don't like him. I loved him, and of course, like, bringing Namor into our MCU and seeing obviously some different scenery as well, stunning. My jaw was dropped to the floor. Obviously, no spoilers, but it's just so pretty. Everything's like, so nice to look at.
There's one point where I'm like, I'm hoping this has a completely different ending to what we've seen in the film, or what we've seen in the film, what we've seen in the trailers has context for a completely different scene. Like, it just was like, I don't want this to happen. I want them to unite, and that's it. Like, I don't want there to be any animosity or bad blood between Wakanda and Talokan?
Yeah, Talokan. Yeah, Talokan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I was like, why can't we all just be friends? I was like,
exactly.
If you knew each other, I was like, if you knew what we knew, everything would be okay. But obviously, that doesn't make for an exciting movie, does it? We need the drama.
Even like Nakia, Lupita Nyong'o as Nakia, she's so good, and Denai Guerrera as Okoye, and like, I will talk about this. The representation, especially with, and I can say this because they are a comic character, so it's not necessarily spoiling. But Annika and Ayo, I love their relationship, especially how they are on the battlefield. I do wish there was more. Like, I feel like I wish it wasn't just a sprinkling. I wish there was more to it, because they are a comic couple, and they are a power couple. One of my favorite things ever about Black Panther 2 is the relationship between Shuri and Riri Williams.
Yeah.
That is hands down best. It reminds me so much of Tony Stark and Peter Parker.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We've got Tal over here. He said that he thinks that there's talks of a Dora Milaje series. Ooh. Fingers
knows?
crossed.
Fingers
We
crossed.
can hope. We can hope because they
Yes.
are badass.
Absolutely.
Love them strong women.
Yeah,
All right.
So if you haven't seen it, go check out Black Panther 2. Visually, it is amazing, and the music and the story and the culture behind it is so good. Definitely go check it out.
For sure. Bring some tissues with you for your
Yeah.
eyes.
And don't walk out in the credit scene.
No, of course. I mean, we should all know by now to not
I
walk-
went
not
to a
leave.
preview screening, and these are like fans, and half of them walked out.
I see it all the time. There's
And I'm
always
like,
those few, and it's like,
you-
why?
You know this is Marvel, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Are you new here? Sometimes I'm like, when people know about it, but they still leave, and they're like, oh well. It's like, what do you mean, oh well? This is
yeah, exactly.
you're being gifted with some information here that not everyone has, and people are just throwing it away.
The cinema attendants were like, "Okay, time to go." I'm like, "It's a Marvel film. Do you not
I'm not going
understand
anywhere.
that the credits scene? I'm staying right here until that credits are finished."
I feel like they need to be briefed before a Marvel movie happens and be like, all right, guys, give them an extra half an hour, all right? Like, give them another 30 minutes after a film finishes before you put on the next film, because there'll be some people still sitting there waiting.
100%.
But alrighty, I think, was that it that we have today?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you all for joining in again on Geekazoid Live. For people that have joined us live, thank you. And if you're going to watch this later on, hello and goodbye. Definitely appreciate you all coming and joining us and chatting with us. Make sure you follow us on all our social media. So Geekazoid Live. We got Spotify, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, etc., and of course follow us all on our individual pages.
Where can they follow you, Tay?
You can find me mostly on Instagram and TikTok, but I do float around on other social medias, but it's at the Tay Hamilton. So nice and easy to remember now that I've changed it. Yeah, definitely keep up to date with our socials, because we'll always post like little sneak peeks of what we're going to be talking about. You can, of course, request some things, send us your ideas. If there's a topic you want to discuss, let us know. We'd love to talk to you about it. And Fizman, where can we find you, my good friend?
You can find me everywhere at Captain Fizman. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Be Real, TikTok, Twitch, Vero. I think that's it. I'm pretty sure.
Just pretty much type him in every app you have, and he'll most likely be there. All right,
Yeah,
you won't miss him. You'll always be able to find him.
Yeah. Also, if you are listening to the podcast on the audio version, be sure to tune in to the visual version whenever you can, 7 p.m. AEST or AEDT, depending on if you're on daylight savings time or not. It would be 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. in Western Australia. It would be 6:30 p.m. in Adelaide. It would be 6 p.m. in Queensland. I'm just going through all the time zones and everything.
We've got everyone ticked off. Actually,
Exactly.
Before we go, Tal wants us to know that if John Wick will be part of any of our future topics, we can't talk about it without him. Deal. Actually, it was going to be on the list because I did hear some little rumors.
There was a trailer that dropped, and I forgot about that.
That's it. All right, Tal, we're going to add it next time. We'll remember. Don't let us forget. We will add it for you.
Don't worry, we'll add it. But yes, and yeah, if you are tuning into the audio version, make sure to tune into the visual ones, because we do have visual aids. For example, I'm looking at this amazing photo of Taylor in her Scarlet Witch Wanda and at the Wakanda Forever premiere. So yeah, definitely tune in because there is a lot more that you don't see if you're looking at the visuals, and definitely check it out.
Absolutely.
And then if you could participate in trivia if we do another one soon.
Yes, every 15 episodes we're going to do a big trivia segment, so definitely want to get everyone pumped and ready for next time.
Yes,
You've
if
got
you'd
some
like
time
to
to
be part
prepare.
of it, please reach out via Instagram, and then so we can kind of have a list, everything. Tal, you can participate. You can't be on stream because we're trying to switch things up. But yes, sorry about that, Tal. Anyways, thank you all for watching. As always, make sure to check out Gigazoid every Thursday at 7 p.m. AST. And remember, as always, to keep geeking out.
Hey. All right.
Right.
Good night, everyone.
All right.